have your way. Work on me, Lord. You are the potter, I am the clay. Have your way. Work on me, Lord. You are, have your way. Work on my heart, Jesus. Work on my mind, Lord. I need thee, Lord. Every hour, most gracious Lord. You are the potter. I am the clay. Mold me, shape me, Lord. Have your have your way, like only you can. So while you're going through, let Jesus work on you. There's nothing else to do but be still and know He is God. He came to make you strong, though it hurts for a moment. Though it hurts for a moment, yeah. Though it hurts for a moment, let Him work on you. It's not the end of you, it's the beginning. Right now, right now, right now. Record. I still have a blemished heart. I don't have much worth without you. I am good because you are. Take this lump of clay and build yourself a place in it. Make a cathedral out of me. 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 Oh, I feel small just talking to you, wondering what you think of me. I don't have too much to say, but you still listen when I sing. Take this lump of clay and make yourself an instrument. Make a cathedral out of me. 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 Oh, you'll see the light in the dark. You make a temple inside of my heart. You see the saint inside every sinner. Take your lump of clay and love it till it can't reason. Make a cathedral out of me.
the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette, Westbrooks, and Mr. Dumas.
And good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. We'll be joined later by President Gwendolyn Westbrooks. I hope you're having a great day today. It's a warm day outside today, some record high temperatures. And of course, we could use a little relief like we had a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think it's coming anytime soon. First, before I start out, I want to send condolences to a very good friend of mine who passed away, I believe, on yesterday. A business associate, a friend, Mr. George Willis, from Forsyth, Georgia, where we operated the Willis Funeral Home there in Forsyth. Our condolences go out to his wife Tracy and his children in the loss of a pioneer in the area of Forsyth, and not just Forsyth, but all across Middle Georgia. George was known in the early years as an insurance agent, did a lot of things, a lot of different ventures as well, and certainly we're going to miss his presence, and our condolences go out to his family. Here in Middle Georgia, of course, we've been experiencing a uptick in violence all across our community. And of course, we have, as an organization, always talked against violence, and safety has been one of the things that we've always talked about here on the show, staying safe. We know that the kids are back in school and the cameras are back up. And those of you who have been in school zones have noticed when the flashing lights are on, of course, you have to adhere to the speed zones as far as how fast you can actually operate your vehicle in those areas. Of course, in the past, we've had some issues with the cameras running after hours, and a lot of people ended up with tickets from those cameras and those kinds of things. So we've always kind of stayed abreast of what was happening with the traffic cameras, but we do know that safety comes first, particularly when it comes to our children. And on that particular note, we noticed that there was a shooting here in Macon of a 12-year-old. The headlines read that the shooting of a 12-year-old in Macon led to retaliatory shooting. 6 kids charged in the weekend violence, according to the sources here. They say that the shooting of a 12-year-old prompted even more youth violence on Sunday. The shooting was a retaliatory shooting, according to the Bibb County Sheriff Office. And so these are some beefs, so to speak, between these teenagers. Says a 12-year-old was sent to the hospital in critical condition on Sunday after being shot on Mint Green Lane. The sheriff office said in a press release that happened around 5 p.m. 2 children, one 14 and the other was 12, were arrested later in the 2300 block of Houston Avenue in connection to the shooting. But it says, but the 12-year-old was since been released to his parents ahead of their court proceedings. But then nearly 1.5 hours later, at 6:30 p.m., another shooting took place in the 2200 block of Silver Pines Drive. This was an area in retaliation for the shooting of the 12-year-old. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says multiple children then fled the scene heading towards Rocky Creek Road, but they were eventually taken into custody. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says they charged 17-year-old Taquavius Dean, 2 15-year-olds, and a 13-year-old also faces charges. They're all charged with aggravated assault and the possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. The 12-year-old shot on Mount Green Lane is listed in critical but stable condition, according to the press release. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information to contact their office at 478-751-7500 or the Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-977-68-CRIME. And so this is a very tragic series of events that have taken place in our community, where teens are unable to do what we've talked about and what Mr. Herbert Denard, Prevent the Violence and Just Walk Away initiative has talked about, and that's just walk away. We'd like to hear your comments and your concerns on this issue. Is it just as simple as walking away when it comes to crime in our communities, or when it comes to beef between our teens? Is it feasible to just walk away? We'd love to hear from you. You can call us here at 478-250-1444. Once again, that's 478-250-1444. The Just Walk Away initiative is continuing to fight against teen violence as well as black on black crime in our community. And I want to talk a little bit about the Just Walk Away program. It says that Macon faces high levels of violent crimes. 1 in 92 community members affected by violence per a 2021 report. This initiative aims to deliver a simple but powerful message to make walking away the go-to response in moments of conflict. And it seems that we have a lot of conflict here in the school system as well as in our community. There was also an incident where some adults were charged with going onto a school bus allegedly and causing the disturbance. And so these things are very much in effect, and school has just begun. And so we wonder, how much of an uptick in these types of situations will occur as we go deeper into the school year. What is the goal of the Walkaway Initiative? One of the goals that they have is to promote nonviolent conflict resolution, to reduce violent crime rates and repeated offenses, and to instill peaceful decision-making across all age groups. Now, is that feasible is the question. Are teens able to resolve conflict on their own? Social media, you see a lot of people that have beefs with each other, and they post these types of arguments on social media. And so we see this all the time. Some of the community partnerships, and it takes a village when it comes to these types of things. This initiative is backed by community leaders and institutions such as Bibb County Sheriff's Office, the Bibb County School District, the Macon Bibb NAACP, the Macon Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office. And so these partnerships have been put in place to make sure this initiative goes forward and that people get the message to just walk away. And any teens that are listening today, or you just happen to hear your parents as they listen to this radio broadcast, I hope that you will take heed to what that is saying. Stay connected as far as and stay inspired. Staying connected, stay inspired. You want to hear real stories, powerful messages, and life-changing moments. Follow Just Walk Away Middle Georgia on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as well as TikTok, where we're sharing raw, honest content that uplifts, educates, and empowers our community. And that way you don't miss a moment. Join the movement and be a part of something bigger. Just search Just Walk Away Middle Georgia on all major platforms. And so that's how you out in the community can become a part by connecting with the Just Walk Away initiative of Middle Georgia, because it takes a village. It takes all of us in our respective communities to stop the violence here in Middle Georgia, because it affects all of us. You know, if it affects one area, it affects all our areas. Stopping violence in Middle Georgia is not a spectator sport. We need your involvement. If you are someone you know is struggling, we are able to help, whether it's listening, giving a listening ear, a second chance, or a ride to court, probation, or even home from prison. You're not alone. We believe in redemption, not judgment. If you need us, call us. And this is the Just Walk Away Initiative. And you can reach them at 478-227-3005. Once again, that number is 478-227-3005. And some of you may ask, well, how can, I get involved with this initiative? How can I play a part in reducing some of the violence that we're experiencing in our community? Well, you can get involved. You can host a walk away, sign replacements, and you can put signs in your yard. We have these signs that you can put up in your yards and storefronts and in public areas. You can also participate in school visits, public talks, and community events. Also, you can support programming through local churches, civic groups. You can volunteer for sessions at the Bibb County Jail or youth mentorship. As a matter of fact, our President Westbrooks, participates in that every Wednesday. And so we applaud you in your efforts in the Walk Away Initiative to
Yes.
make sure that crime can be alleviated to a degree, and also that our community can be aware of some of the things that they can do as well.
Yeah. Also, when I go, I've already started the walkthrough once a month. I've already started that, and when I did the walk, and some people ask me, well, what good is that going to do during the walkthrough? So everything that the mayor has put in place is long term.
Right.
It's nothing that's being done for short term. And so by doing a walkthrough, it gives me the opportunity to, because what I do, I don't just go to the block, I go from cell to cell. And so when I do that, I give a report back of my findings and ask for a correction to be done. So while we are waiting on long term, this is why we ask for a federal investigation to be done, because everything that's while we thank the mayor for the efforts,
right,
but at the same time, we're still not dealing with short-term solutions. We're still dealing with lice and bed bugs. We're still, these types of things are inhumane. So nothing is, even though they're talking about maybe tearing down or renovating, that's still long-term. It's nothing being done short-term.
Right.
And so that's why we asked for a federal investigation to be done. We're waiting to see whether or not that's going to happen. I've already decided if whatever happened, I'm going to be getting ready to go to Washington.
Absolutely.
Because we have to have a federal investigation. That's the only way we're going to be able to get things done. I know that people are being released, because I've actually did some recommendations for people to be released under this month, which I was totally against it. I'm totally against it. We just need to move these cases. But I've made recommendations to the district attorney for people to be released, and some people have been released who was recommended for. I'm recommended for to be released.
And then we're also working with River Edge to, do follow-ups and make sure that they're complying with what they should be complying with. But the violence inside the jail is an issue also, and that's something that we're looking at also in communicating with the inmates, because it's another charge when you commit
another
and
crime
it's
within
not,
the jail.
it's just not violence, it's extortion, it's a lot of things that's going on. So, like I said, while we the mayor's doing some things, but he's still not dealing with short terms, and his things. Responsible to me that it's the inmate's responsibility to keep the jail clean, and I disagree with that.
Absolutely.
We have to. I know they have some people in the jail that have like low, like a misdemeanor or something like that. They have them in certain areas with the jail, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be inhumane. But I think by me going in and do a walkthrough once a month, some of the block that I walked on, or the last block that I walked, it was just
horrendous.
It was, and I went from cell to cell, wrote down what needed to be done, and even to the point recommending that certain blocks just be shut down, quarantined, and they did that. Quarantine, and all the inmates are given a medicated bath. They did that, and so until we can get the feds in here, then I think me doing a walkthrough on a monthly basis and giving my findings is working.
Wonderful.
It's still inhumane, but like I said, if something is going on and I address it, they're addressing it.
Absolutely, because some people have to have an advocate, particularly when there's something that they may not have control over, and you have to be in that environment. You need some type of advocacy.
Yeah, and I know that they're talking about different people that have been released, and it's not as many people that's being released under this program that the mayor has put forth that they're saying. Because the first 30 days, there was about 30 or 40 inmates that were released that was in that count, but they were actually released because they had already been sentenced. So they were actually waiting for a bed to be shipped off. So that count was included with some of the inmates that had already been sentenced. So I get a report every day of who's being incarcerated. And something that I'm seeing more and more of is failure to appear. And that's something that I'm actually that we're doing now. The list of people, making a list of people that's in failure to appear, and we're actually going to the courthouse to actually look at those cases, because we really don't think that they're actually getting the notice, and they're sitting there because of failure to appear and not everyone. Some people are just not showing up,
right?
But some people are saying I never got a notice, and it's an increase. So that's what made spike the red flag, because I'm seeing an increase. Because last Wednesday when I went to the courts, I sat in the court just about all day. We do that. And when I went in for the calendar call, and some cases were heard, some people pleaded. I'm telling you, it was people there that had been out on bond since 2018 that would just go into court.
Wow.
And so, the judge was like, I don't know why you're here. We don't know why you're here. Your name is not on the list. So people are showing up because they're getting something, and then they'll say they didn't show up and they didn't supposed to be there. So it's crazy, but it's something that has it's a red flag, because it's too many. I'm seeing too many failure to appear, and you got people sitting in jail because of a failure to appear when they really didn't even get the notice.
Wow. And how did they? That's a big question. How did they receive notice? It goes when they're incarcerated.
Yeah, we had that situation a while back, and I got a phone call from the jail, and they were saying, and I did address it. I was like, how did she failure to appear when she's already sitting in jail?
Right.
So, and that comes from people having cases in different courts. And so they were supposed to be handling both of them, and they didn't. So they, she was already incarcerated in the same court, and then she had a fine in the same court, but because she didn't show up to court, then they issued a bench warrant. So they actually lifted and actually let her out early after I sent the email.
Wow.
They let her out early, but they had issued a failure to appear and issued a warrant, and she was already in jail. So they're the one that actually
These are like
revoked her.
technicality type things, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, and that's why we sit in court, because it's so very important that we all sit in court to listen to all these injustices or technicalities that happen. And when I sit in state court, the same thing. You know, people are sitting in court, and then when I sit in court, and you see what kind of cases are going before you, and then they'll say, you're excused, we made an error. I'm saying we're talking about people getting arrested and losing their jobs,
Right.
and can't go to work. So that's a red flag. This failure to appear. I'm seeing more and more of that, and I think they're just not really being notified.
Right.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the 20th before we get on
With
the
the
20th,
governors.
which is Thursday.
See.
No, Wednesday.
Right.
The 20th at 6:00. There will be a governor's meet and greet. The Houston County branch and the Bibb County branches collaborated in hosting this event. I'll be the moderator for that event. And so we're inviting the public. It's free to the public. We're inviting you to come and listen to their platform. There will not be a question and answer that was on the flyer. I think they made another flyer because of it being so early. It's just going to be a meet and greet.
Okay. And that's at First Baptist Church.
Right. It's at First Baptist Church, and it's going to be from 6 to 8 o'clock. And we are encouraging people to please make sure that you check your voter status. There's about almost 480,000 people that are scheduled to be purged from the voters roll by the Secretary of State. 480,000 people that either did not vote in the 2022 and 2024 general election. Those people are being scheduled to be purged. So you need to check your voter page. If you're not for sure, you can contact our office at 478-305-3697.
And the last day to register, October 6th? I know that date is approaching.
Right, to
quite
register
quickly.
vote. And so,
Right.
yeah, we're going to be doing voter registration also, because, voter registration, National Voter Registration Days, I think it's September the 20th, I think. And so we're going to be doing that where, we normally go into the schools to register people to vote. And also we're going to be, we're going to be doing some registration. I think they're paying $20 an hour, but we're going to be, I recommend some people to participate in that so they can be doing voter registration and canvassing and whatever. But I think that's probably going to start next week or something like that. But
And it's very important. I don't know if if people are paying attention to what's occurring, here, not only in Georgia but all across the country, as it relates to various things. And if this is not a push for people to get out and vote, I don't know what really will dictate that.
It's just like we was talking about the SNAP benefits that's coming. We're talking about housing vouchers that's coming. And actually, let me cut this phone off. This was somebody that I had contacted. She's with the Teachers Union.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get her on the show to talk about the education, the different things that are going on within the Department of Education, and things that are going to be affected by what's being done from the state, from Trump's administration.
Right. So we're looking at
dismantling
Head Start and programs like that.
Right. And so we're trying to get her on so she can talk about that, and actually I'm trying to get her invited for the next town hall meeting so we can talk about the education. But we talked about the SNAP benefits. And so, since we've been on the show last week, there was allegedly cyber attack that has happened, and it's affected people benefits in the system. But I'm just want to say this. The cyber attack had nothing to do with their system. Their system has been down for a minute.
Exactly.
This and the reason I know it's been down because I've been helping people that benefits have been stolen, and going in and trying to set them up an account where they can lock their account. You cannot get anybody on that line,
Wow.
that customer service line. It's been down way before this cyber attack, because this been months ago. Matter of fact, when we had the town hall meeting at my church, that was during that time. That's been several months. This system has been down.
Right.
And matter of fact, because it had been down, I emailed Senator's office and reported this, because it's been down for a minute now. The cyber attack had nothing to do with that. And it's just crazy that people are having these issues and then they are not able to talk to anyone. And when you go into the office, they don't have the information, because they're not equipped to handle that, because that's something on a state level.
Wow.
And so we're dealing with something widespread like that, and you can't even talk to anybody. Just imagine how people are frustrated. And we're talking about people that are older, up in age, that didn't know anything about the computer, don't even know how to do that.
Right.
And so it's just crazy that they're putting this on the cyber attack, but it's been messed up.
And when you look at, these benefits, they're affecting children as far as being able to feed their kids, their families. And that's that can be a concern that trickles even into the school, because, how can kids learn and focus, when they.
And that's why, this governor's race is so very important, because, we had, like, for the summer lunch programs that were, they stopped that this past summer. So it's very important that we pay attention to this governor race. And I tell everybody that you need to vote in your local elections.
Absolutely.
Especially your mayor, your superintendents, those types of positions we need to pay, because they affect you on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And so and I was just talking to someone on the phone. We talked. Macon is just not, they wonder why we get things, other cities get things done, but people are just so laid back in Macon. They just kind of like accept, they're okay with what's going on.
Wow.
And so we got to be more involved and get involved. And I was just in Sandersville this past Sunday and spoke in Sandersville about the violence. And we're going to do something too. We're working on that, stopping the violence, because it's, when I go into the jail and just sit and I listen to a lot of, because when I go in, I ask, what are you here for?
Right.
And some things are just senseless. And I tell them every time I go, if you're not defending yourself, or, you don't need to be doing anything to lose your freedom.
Right.
Because when you're in there, somebody's telling you what to do, but it's a lot of violence. And I don't know how we're going to resolve it, because it's not one person's issue. It's the whole community issue. But I just know that, our young people, and we just got to think before we act.
We do. And it happens more than we think. We catch certain incidents on the news, but there's so many other incidents that go unreported. Because
when you sitting in front of that judge, it's not always fair. I sit and see people with the same crime, and their sentence is different. And so, unless you have someone to advocate and sit, you wouldn't know if you don't sit and look at and see these things. We just need everybody hands on deck, boots on the ground, whatever they say.
Absolutely.
To get involved with this violence.
It's a major problem.
Yeah.
And it's a major problem here in Macon.
I want to get people to make sure you pull it up and Google it, find out the new laws that have went into place. We've talked about it for the last 2 weeks, but you need to know what the new laws that went into effect in July. It's a lot of laws that went into effect. So you need to make sure that you look at them. I'm just looking at this thing with this daycare, where this first day of school, this 1-year-old was beaten by a daycare, and that's one of the laws that went into effect July 1st. Every person that works with children and with the daycares, they have to do a criminal background check now. They can't work at these places without doing a criminal background check.
Wow, I thought they got them anyway.
Some people don't. It's just some people just know people and they hire them.
Wow.
And but you have to have a extensive
check.
criminal background check now.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot of laws that went into effect July 1st. We went over them. But please, for your own self, look at it and see what these new laws are.
Ignorance is no excuse to the law. And so until next week, we'll see you. Hope you have a good evening. Take care.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4:00 p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views